number one biggest reason that when you tried using dating apps, they never worked for you and you didn't get the results that you wanted? Everyone in the world tries using dating apps. No one ever does any research into how they work or how the people on the other side experience dating apps, because there's a huge factor that no one thinks about, which is that women experience dating apps completely differently to how men experience dating apps, yet they've all been built as an androgynous, one size shoe fits all feet kind of deal. I think that a lot of guys don't even really think about how the algorithm works or how these apps are like determining when you're going to get a match, when you're not going to get a match. So the first thing that you've got to understand is that it's all about your photos. It's nearly 100% to do with your photos. If you've got the wrong photos, then it doesn't matter how good your bio is, it doesn't matter how funny you are, how witty you are. If your photos don't present you in the top 10 or 20% or 30% of men of photos on the dating app, then you're just not going to get any matches. Like, it's just that simple. What a lot of guys think though is they think, they just put up any old photos, that they've never done a photo shoot, they've never taken any nice photos of themselves, they've never put any effort into trying to look good in photos because it's uncomfortable and it's awkward and it's just not a guy thing, and I understand that. It's not about you, it's not about how you look physically, it's about the way you're presenting yourself in the photos and the types and styles of photos that you're putting up there. We don't have time to scroll through a million profiles and pay them a lot of attention. So what happens is, every time you open a dating app and there's thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of profiles, and it has to determine which ones it's going to serve to you so that you can swipe on it. And it has to choose. There has to be a system of the app choosing which profiles it's going to show you. What's the first profile that you see? Well, there's going to be some algorithmic stuff, very, very secretive algorithmic stuff going on in the background, proprietary information that Tinder, for example, or Hinge or Bumble is never going to share to the general public, because the minute we understand what that data is, we can hack it. No one's got time to scroll through even 1,000 profiles every time they open the app. We can scroll through maybe 10, 20, 50, maybe if we're sitting on the toilet taking a dump, we can scroll through 100 profiles and have a bit of a look at them. From the woman's perspective, if she opens the app, she's busy. Like an attractive woman who's living a cool life, got a social life, got friends, got work, got a business. Like, she really doesn't want to spend much time on the dating app. She wants dating to be as easy as possible. So she opens the app and she's going to scroll through the first 10, 20, 30 profiles, something like that, and then she's going to close the app for the rest of the day and she's not going to do it again. And then when she opens it again, the app's got to serve her the right number of profiles. You've got to do everything that you can as a man to be in that stack of cards that is shown to every girl that opens the app. So think of them like playing cards. Think of it like a deck of playing cards. Every time a woman opens the app, she's given a deck of 52 playing cards, and each of those playing cards is a different profile or a different card. And they're going to be shuffled in some order that we're not really sure exactly how it's done. And she's going to swipe the cards left or right, yes or no. And she's going to do that based on your number one photo, your first primary photo. She's going to judge you so harshly and so critically on that first photo, it's not funny, because the volume is there, like the volume of options that she's got to look at, and her time is limited. So she has to find ways to make it as easy and simple for her as possible. So she's going to be harshly critical. And this is why your primary picture must be set up in such a way that it presents you as the most attractive version of yourself that you can. Now again, this doesn't necessarily mean physical beauty. I've had clients and I've seen lots of guys, and myself included, that aren't objectively Brad Pitts or anything like that. We're not like, and I've seen some pretty ugly dudes do really well on dating apps because they create a beautiful photo of themselves that has them doing the right actions in the photo and dressed well and the right lighting and the right angles and all of this stuff. And the photos, it's captivating, it's intriguing, it's interesting. It's got something about it that draws her attention in. And so she swipes yes. And then what happens is, after she swipes, let's say she swipes 100 profiles and she swipes yes on 10 of them or 5 of them. Right? We're going to typically swiping yes on about 5 to 10% of profiles. If you're in that top 5 or 10 profile, she's then going to go back, she's going to see which of those matched with her. And for a lot of women, they're getting like a 90% match rate, even more. And also with Tinder, you've got to remember that if she goes in, if she's got a paid account and she can see which men have swiped yes on her already, which is what happens when you get a paid account, you can see who's already liked you, and she's just scrolling through that page, she knows that whoever she swipes yes on out of that page, and all she sees is the primary photo, that she's going to get 100% match rate on that. So she's being very selective because she hasn't got the time to have conversations and go on dates with 30 men. She has to shortlist 3 to 5 guys that she can get in a conversation with and go on a date with. So say you're in that top 5, and she's going to go back and look at the rest of your photos, and she's going to judge you based on your worst photo. Right? She's going to make a final decision as to whether she unmatches at that point. And then after that, she's going to have a look at your bio, and she's going to have a look at what you've written. And if you're doing all the normie stuff, all the mistakes that the majority of men put on there because they haven't thought about how women are receiving the information that you're putting on your dating app. This is the way you construct it. This is the setup. This is the strategy of how to build a dating app. Like, what information do you put on there? What information do you leave off there? How do you structure it? What kind of things do you write for your prompts? What kind of things do you write for your bios? And thinking all with the mindset of how is the woman that I want to date receiving this information, and is it working for me or is it working against me? And the majority of the time, you've opened a dating app, man, and you haven't even thought about this stuff. You're just being like, oh, I like this photo of me. That's my favorite photo of me. And you whack it up there, and it's like, no offense, it's a shit photo of you. Like, you think it's good, but objectively, women don't think it's good for various reasons, or the general dating market doesn't think it's good. It's not about you. It's not about how ugly or attractive you are. It's about your photos. Like, an attractive woman who's swiping and matching with a lot of guys, as she's matching with guys, she's starting to get messages inbound on her dating app. While she's still swiping yes, they're coming in messages. And the communication that men are using is really, really not appropriate for the dating app. There's a specific way that you have to communicate using a dating app that is going to make you, first of all, stand out from the other men, second of all, be interesting and intriguing for her, and thirdly, not put you in the friend zone or not do certain things that are going to actually work against you and turn her off and make her not reply to your messages. On the way down to do a photo shoot exactly for that, we're working with a client of mine. He's down in Sydney. We're going to spend a couple of days going around the CBD and the botanical gardens, and we've done a bit of a plan for it, okay? Not just a bit of a plan, it's quite a detailed plan. We've created 6 concept photos that we want to take, that each photo shows a different element of him doing different things that are interesting to him and that are interesting in general. His hobbies, his pursuits, the things he likes doing, his friends, his social group, his pet. With a high quality camera, they're going to be high megapixel, high resolution, high quality photos that have a really nice feel. We're going to go and find the beautiful time of day to take it so that the light's right. We're going to try different angles. We're going to try a whole bunch of things, and we're going to do a photo shoot for this guy, and he's going to come out looking like $1 million. And this is instantly going to elevate his results on the dating app, because right now where he's at, they're all like really, really average photos. They're just normie photos, and there's a lot of things going for them that are a lot of elements in the photos that aren't really working for him, working against him. And so he's at like a 4 out of 10 at the moment on his dating profile, and we're going to take the right photos and we're going to elevate him to like a 7 or 8 out of 10, maybe even more. Okay, if we get all the right photos taken. What this means is that he's going to get swiped on more frequently, and he's going to get more matches. And what this is going to do is this is going to elevate his card. Remember, it's a stack of playing cards. Every time a woman opens a dating app, she gets given a deck of cards, and each one's a different man's profile. He's going to be more likely to be put in that deck of cards. Because if you think about it this way, if you're not in that top stack of cards that is shown to women when they open the app, and your card is organized to card number 500 or card number 800 of all the different men's profiles, you will never ever even get your profile in front of her eyeballs. She will never see your profile because the system has to feed her a set of profiles that she's going to be interested in looking at. And how it does that is it judges by how often you get swiped yes on and how often you get matched with. So what a lot of guys do is they just take what they think is the best photo of themselves, whack it up on a dating app, and then they think, oh, if I pay a subscription, that's going to help me get more matches. It absolutely doesn't, because the only thing that gets you matches is your photos and a little bit of your bio. Great photos with no bio will still get you matches. Great photos with a shit bio that's working against you will fuck up your matches. It won't get you the results that you want. So if you can't write a decent bio that's interesting and funny and emotional and spikes her interest and her intrigue and makes her curious about you, then it doesn't matter, man. You're never going to get the match. So if you don't do that, you're better off just having good photos and no bio. But paying for an app is the biggest waste of money you will ever spend if you don't have the right photos. But if you've got the right photos that get matches and you've got the right bio that gets attention and your profile is now interesting to women in its fundamental state, then and only then does paying for an app absolutely turbocharge your results. Why is that? It's because when you pay, the app and the system prioritizes your card much higher up the stack. That means that the attractive women who get on there and only open and swipe on 20 or 30 profiles are more likely to see your profile in their short little stint of swiping. But none of that matters if you don't have good photos. So number one is getting the right photos. So what we're going to do, we're going down, we're going to see this client, we're going to put some really good photos together, and we're going to launch his new dating app. We're going to do all new photos, we're going to do all new bios and prompts, and we're going to relaunch it. And from there, we get to reset the algorithm. We get to start from scratch. All the women that saw his profile before in the area that he lives in Sydney are going to see it again, but this time they won't even recognize him because he's going to be a completely new man. He's going to be looking hot, he's going to be looking great, he's going to be looking intriguing, he's going to have an interesting dating profile. I hope this has made sense. If you've got any questions, please drop it in the comments and ask me, because I'm answering them personally. A lot of guys have no idea how good or bad their photos are on dating apps, and all they're doing is saying, my dating app's shit, dating apps don't work. Dating apps don't work, blaming the app. Women only want 6'2" men, blaming their body. All modern women are broken, blaming women, okay? All it takes is for you to stop and look at what you're doing and realize that dating apps are like a tool that is just being used badly. And if you use it properly, it absolutely works. If you're curious about your photo set and you're not getting any results on dating apps and you want to see why, there's a website you can go to called 𝗙𝗢𝗎𝗓.com. You go and load up your best one or two photos, the photos that you think are the most attractive, hottest photos, the ones that you put up on your dating app and you think, yeah, chicks will love me from this. Put them up and then get them rated by women in the age range of women that you want to date. And you'll get a score out of 10 as to how attractive you look in those photos. Let me know what type of results you get. If your attraction rating is under 7.5, especially on your first one or two photos, that's going to put you in the as average. And when you're average, you're not going to get any attention on dating apps. It's just that simple. And then when you realize that you don't have any photos, or your primary photo isn't sitting at an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10, which it can be for most guys, you can get your photos rated nice and high. That's when everything changes. You can create those photos and then all of a sudden you'll start getting attention online. Guys, by the way, I am giving away absolutely free my texting secrets of how to communicate with women on dating apps. So I've worked out, thank you for... Do it. What? Do it.
Oh, no, this is too easy.
So if you're interested, drop a comment below text machine and them will organise to give you access to that and get it sent over. It's absolutely free. And in that is an opportunity as well for the guys that need it most or really need the most development with their texting to book in a text audit with me where I'll actually go through one-on-one with you some text messages that you've had on the dating apps and give you some very specific feedback about that as to how it fits in with the framework and where you're going wrong, the mistakes that you don't even realise you're making, where you're going well, and the things that you can do more. So if you're interested in that, that's available. The value of that is absolutely priceless. Yeah, drop a comment, text machine, and we'll get it over to you. Peace. See you in the next one.